I'm here to talk about what homelessness looks like and what you might think that looks like. For me, for most of my life, I was homeless, but not in the way that some of you guys might think. In 2007, I was in a failing marriage, working as in an upscale restaurant as a waitress, in an awful marriage. Anything that you have ever been thought about in a marriage, I've done it, been through it. My husband and I were high school sweethearts, and 17 years into our marriage, the marriage was done. I found myself realizing how hopeless I was when he was laying in ICU because he had tried to commit suicide for all the guilt that he felt for the things he had put me through. And I remember having absolutely no emotion for him at all. I thought, you know what, I hope that he dies because my life is stuck. I don't have the strength to leave. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't want to do this to my kids, so I just became numb. I found myself praying out to God one day in the shower, Lord, please come save me because I cannot live like this anymore. So one day, he showed me to look at my husband and say, don't look at the man that hurt you, but look at the little boy that's been hurt in his life, why he wanted to commit suicide, and the guilt that he lived. So one day, I conjured up this idea and realized if there's hope for me and there's hope for you, there's got to be hope for others. So I gathered up these 40 brown bags and a case of water, threw it in my SUV, and went down in my Hoochie high heel shoes, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what homeless looks like. You see the barrel burning and the shopping carts, but I had never talked to a person that was homeless in my life. I was the one at the corner, you know, look straight ahead, turn green light, don't look, lock the door, roll the window up, totally freaked out. I had no idea even what I was looking for. But God led me down there, and my husband, my friends, my family, my church, they all thought I was crazy, and I am. I am very crazy. And so my husband's like, you know, all these people, they just want money. They're just going to ask you for money. They're just going to, they just need it for drugs and alcohol. I'm like, you know what? No, they don't. They need hope. Whatever, okay, whatever, that's what you want to do. So for the first month by myself, I went all by myself, and every week my husband would say, so how much money did they ask you for? And I'm like, they didn't ask me for any. No, you're lying. I'm like, I'm serious. They didn't ask for any of that. But I had been praying, God, please bring my husband because he needs to experience the same joy that I have from helping these people. So one day he says, you know, honey, maybe you shouldn't go by yourself down there. And I was like, yes, finally. So he goes down, and he was just very, very, what do I say? He said, well, ask them if they're hungry. So the first night he met Homer. And Homer had been homeless for 28 years. Had left his family 20 years prior, and the most sweet, charming man you could ever see. And Mike and him bonded like father and son. So my husband had this driving force now to come join me every single week. So for the first 3 years, it was just Mike and I. There was no Blessings Under the Bridge nonprofit. Are you kidding me? That wasn't even, it was meant for one Saturday, not even 3 years later. So we got Homer off the streets. We got him all clean cut and shaven. Look at that man. He's like so handsome. I mean, look at him. He's just so cute. He is. My husband shaved his beard and, you know, cut his hair and everything. Homer was sick. Homer was dying. So I said, I've got to find his family. So I didn't have anything but names. So I said, I'm on a mission. I researched and researched and researched. It was very hard, but I ironically found his family on MySpace back then and made contact with the family. Homer did not know. I called the family. Hi, I believe that you're Homer Hill's son and daughter. No, my dad has been dead for 17 years. I said, no, he's not. Do you know that the mother said his baby girl Heather is dying of cystic fibrosis? So Mike and I go to Homer and say, Homer, guess what? I found your children. He didn't know how to take that. I said, your daughter is dying. We're going to take you there. Do you want to go? Yes, I'll go. Mike and I flew him on his first ever plane ride to Jacksonville, Florida in 2010, only to be with his dying daughter. He lived out her last days, changing her diapers while he's on oxygen and she's on a feeding tube. And all she wanted was to have her dad be there for her dying wish. And we gave that to him. This man has redeemed himself in ways that I can't even explain to you. We come back from Florida and we're like, that's it, we did it. That was a blessing under the bridge. We're done. We did our good deed. And go back, our marriage is saved, things are great. Yeah, right. God's like, this is just the beginning for you guys. People said, you should start up a nonprofit. And I'm like, what? Those are for smart people, okay? I don't know what a 501c3, HD, R2D2, ADHD, I have no idea what that is. And I don't want to know what that is. But I knew that I wanted to be with my husband and be a team. Today, Blessings on the Bridge, we've created a monster. We feed about 300 people every single week from 7 different stations, from made-to-order Starbucks coffee drinks to groceries to Paul Mitchell haircuts, you name it. We spoil the heck out of them because we want them to feel worthy and deserving of the things you and I take for granted every single day. It has been a crazy, crazy journey since 2010. We appeared on the Rachel Ray Show just not too long ago. People Magazine, when that came out, I went into complete depression because we never asked for this. We never asked to be anything. We were just trying to do what was on our heart 1 week that turned into 4 weeks, and then 2 months and 2 years, and now here we are 8 years later running a full-fledged nonprofit. We also do 2 events every year that averages about 1,000 people. It just keeps getting huger and huger and huger, and the huger it gets, I just want to crawl in a hole because I didn't ask for any of this. Through the time that we've been doing this, we've done a lot of stories on people. We've done weddings, we've done memorials, things that being there for family. Dwight was somebody that we met during the course of this time. He was left in a beer can box at 9 months old. His date of birth was never truly determined. His son was shot by a gun, a drive-by shooting, when he was 12 years old. Dwight went from his wonderful life, his family, the house, the great job, lost his wife, lost his son, and then lost his mind. Next thing you know, he's living under the exact same bridge that Homer lived under. In the end, Dwight, 2 months ago, got hit by a car. He was in ICU for 28 days. He had no family. So Mike and I stepped in as his family, and the hospital gave us guardianship over him to be with him in his last dying days. What he wanted was a family, and he became our family. He also was able to walk Carol Ann, the lady that was a prostitute that we gave her dream wedding to, and be a father figure to her. And I also reunited her with her son after 20 years. I don't have all the answers, and I have no idea what I'm doing, honestly. But what I do know is that inside of us, we're all a little bit homeless. We want the exact same things that people want. We want to be loved. We want to be heard. We want to be accepted. We want to be recognized, acknowledged. We want to know that we're just a human being. I don't have all the answers, and I don't know what they all are, but what I do know is that for me, being homeless stemmed way before my marital problems. It started back when I was 6 years old. I didn't know this until just recently. I had a mom back in the 70s that couldn't get out of bed. She was up all night and slept all day. So my lunches were nothing. My mom wasn't the kind of mom that she could give me a kiss on the forehead and send me off for school with a brown bag meal or a red ticket for lunch. So I had to put my own brown bag together, which was usually a peanut butter sandwich and an old banana. And if I didn't have that, I was stealing the lunches out of my friends' backpacks. Every once in a while, my mom would show up. Out of nowhere, I'd get a call from the office. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I in trouble? I'd walk down, and I would see my mom, this long hair, beautiful smile, with a brown bag meal that had about 5 items in it, stacked. It felt like a gift. I didn't feel ashamed anymore to the other kids. My mom made me feel proud, and she made me feel loved, and it erased all the times that she'd ever made me feel forgotten. What I know to be true is that Blessings Under the Bridge is not about them, it's about us. And we don't fix them, they fix us. We're the ones that are messed up. We're the ones that have issues, not them. These people make us a better person. And when we're down there, we're simply serving in a mirror image of ourselves that brings blessings under the bridge. Thank you.